I'm going to show you guys how to make a dot plot. You can highlight your entire data set starting from the value column. So again, I'll highlight starting from the value column across and sort my data. There we go. And I don't know why it likes to move things around sometimes. Just keep it nice and consistent. There we go. So there's our values in increasing order, and what we're going to do for a dot plot is just see the frequency that each value occurs at. So we're going to say that this, we've got one country at a value of 27. Great. So what we're going to do here is put in a formula. If this cell equals, let's try that again, equals if this, let's try this again. This is getting ugly. Let's try that again. If this cell equals this cell, then we will go 1 plus this cell, going up by 1s. There we go. So we'll just take a look at that formula. We started with 1 here. I input that in manually, and in the next cell here the formula is equals if this value equals this value, and then I will add 1 to the previous value. But as you can see, all the values are different. However, the dot plot may yet reveal something interesting for us to look at. And obviously we have a value of 1 for the frequency. If we want to round our numbers, we can highlight the entire column, right click, format cells, format the number, just go to 0 decimal places. We'll round it up to take off the decimal. You see that decimals are gone. Alright, so what we can do now is highlight our 2 cells, our 2 columns of the frequency and the values. So you can see I did not include the titles, just the data. We're going to insert a scatter plot. There we go. And as usual, dot plot does not provide too much information. We can right click to format the axis, and looks like we can go to a maximum of 2 here, major units of just 1. There we go. So at best, this dot plot is showing us the range of the data, and we can clearly see we've got a major cluster happening here. It's always a good idea to make your graph as big as possible, especially when you've got quite a bit of data clustered up here. So I'm going to attempt to make my graph as large as possible. And also format the x-axis by right-clicking on the actual values down here. I just right-click format axis, and it looks like here the max is minimum should be 0. Yeah, max should be 0. Major units. Yeah, maybe we can drop this down to 50,000. See if we get some more information. Nope, that looks pretty ugly. We would have to change the size of this graph dramatically to clear that up. So let's format this again, and let's try 100,000. That's a bit better. So you can see we've got majority of the data sitting in between 0 and 100,000 with some huge outliers here. But as usual, the dot plot is not incredibly useful. It's not going to hold you back from properly putting a title through the layout menu on the chart, as well as some axis titles for the X and Y axes.